Making sure we're good here. We are live here. Tornado warning has been issued down in Nebraska. All right. Hello, everybody. Riley here with the T-Storm Chasers. We do have a tornado warning down in Nebraska that has been issued. This current warning box, it is just south of Ainsworth, Nebraska. Let's show the big picture here. Now, the area shaded in pink is where we have a severe thunderstorm watch that is for a good portion of central and northwest Nebraska, the panhandle of Nebraska, and northern Nebraska here in effect in this severe thunderstorm watch. And then, as you can see, Sioux Falls up here just getting a lot of rain. We're going to talk about that as well. But down here in Nebraska, we do have a supercell that kind of popped up out of nowhere, and just south of Ainsworth is where we do have a tornado warning, which is in effect here for another couple of minutes. Moving east at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. As of now, a radar indicated tornado. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this. As you can see, it's got that classic supercell signature to it. Again, just south of Ainsworth. Here's where we're at here. And let's take a look at the velocity. And as you can see there's quite the couplet there on the radar. We have quite a signature where anytime you got those bright reds, bright greens coming together like that, and we do have the tornado vortex signature on this as well to kind of illustrate where we have some high velocity. And as you can see there, we do have quite the signature there with the spinning circle on the radar as well as the tornado signature. And that is where we have this tornado warning that is in effect, and they just reissued it. So that is not surprising to me. We have a very tight, strong velocity couplet that continues on radar, and this is not surprising to me. They have went ahead and reissued this tornado warning. So let's go ahead, and that's kind of why we jumped on here, because we figured that they were going to extend this tornado warning based on everything we're seeing. And this is a very wound up system, very wound up supercell, and that is why we are on here to bring you guys the latest here in Nebraska. So this is moving east at 20. This also has large hail associated with this. I do want to illustrate that. The areas anywhere you got the dark reds and the purple colors on the radar there, just south of Ainsworth, that is where you have your hail signature. And it would not surprise me if this thing is rain wrapped based on what we're seeing on the radar. So you look at, that is a very, very strong circulation on this storm here in Nebraska. And let's see here. This does now include another county here in Nebraska. I do want to put this out here. This tornado warning is in effect until 6:15 p.m., so another 45 minutes now on this storm. Again, it's moving east at 20 miles per hour. So it's not moving very fast, not a fast mover, but it is moving straight east, and radar indicated tornado currently. Now let me see the other county. So this is for Brown and Rock counties in Iowa, in Nebraska. This is in Nebraska. Let me go ahead and update that bottom for you guys. And we'll get this here in just a second. And there we go. So there's your update there. Again, tornado warning just south of Ainsworth, Nebraska, just south of Long Pine. I would say, though, if you're in Long Pine, just please be taking cover, as well as Ainsworth. You are also under a severe thunderstorm warning. Thunderstorm damage threat is considerable, with 2-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds associated with this storm, other than the tornado threat. And here we go. Let's zoom in. This is about as classic as it gets. Again, we have the tornado warning that is in effect, and moving again east at 20, and that is a very well-defined hook as well as just a rotation signature on the radar there. If you have any folks that is just south of Ainsworth, Nebraska, be sure to let them know about this, as again, we do have this tornado warning that continues, and it is a continuation of the tornado warning, and we're hoping obviously that this doesn't touch the ground. But yeah, I mean, Nebraska and Iowa have been getting the brunt of the severe weather this season. Not a whole lot on the South Dakota side, but Nebraska in particular has just been getting absolutely hammered this year of severe weather and tornadoes especially. And unfortunately, we are back here yet again with more tornadic activity in Nebraska. So that is the latest there. And again, as of now, this thing is not confirmed as of now. Nothing confirmed yet, just strong rotation. Just be in your safe spot. Please be taking cover. If you're anywhere in these areas, again, the area that we are looking at currently is right in here. We have a very strong rotation signature, and these velocity signatures are very strong and pretty big. And let me look at something. This is called CC, correlation coefficient. This is used to look at if there's any debris being picked up, and it is going to be harder since it's in a rural area. You know, it's kind of just grassland, maybe farm type land here that's affected. And I'm not seeing anything on the correlation coefficient there, which is good news. Let's hope that continues. And again, where is this at? For those of you wondering, I know a lot of you are on here probably wondering about the Sioux Falls area. We'll get to that. Also, there is a line of severe thunderstorms in the panhandle of Nebraska, just south of Chadron, east of Scottsbluff there. Did want to mention that. There was a tornado warning earlier in Colorado that has been allowed to expire. But this severe thunderstorm warning, I do want to mention this. It is in our coverage area. We do need to cover this. Over Hemingford, Nebraska, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning until... So again, sorry about that. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect here. Hail up to close to 3 inches in diameter. Again, this is just east of Hemingford, the area that we're looking at here in Nebraska. That is one spot, 60-mile-an-hour winds as well. And then moving down to the south, we do have this bigger severe thunderstorm warning box. It does include Bridgeport, Nebraska there for 1-inch hail and 80-mile-an-hour winds. That is some very strong winds there around the Bridgeport, Nebraska area. If you got any folks over in that direction, be sure to let them know about that as well. Also, do want to mention the current conditions over here. Very favorable environment here, unfortunately, in northern Nebraska. This is the area we're looking at. So obviously there's Nebraska. The area that we are looking at here is right in here. And this is west of O'Neill. However, if this continues to march east, if it picks up speed, this will be eventually impacting the O'Neill, Nebraska area, which is not good for that neck of the woods. But as of now, this is quite a bit to the west yet of O'Neill. So let me look at this here. So again, that is the area we're looking at. Again, severe thunderstorm watch. I do want to bring this up to your attention. We do have some counties in South Dakota and Nebraska that is in a severe thunderstorm watch here today. Let me go ahead and read that off here and let everybody know that we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until midnight tonight. Let me go ahead and read this off here. So, a severe thunderstorm watch again for northern Nebraska and southern South Dakota in effect until midnight tonight. The threats include scattered large hail, isolated very large hail events up to 3.5 inches in diameter possible, scattered damaging wind gusts to 70 miles per hour, and a tornado or two also possible. And it does say it is along a warm front here with this tornadic thunderstorm. And it does say that there will be a localized tornado threat. Also, will continue to move east this evening. Hail and severe wind threat mainly with, again, that isolated tornado threat, which is what we're seeing here already with that tornado warning just south of Ainsworth, Nebraska. And it does say north of the front, which would be in South Dakota, on the South Dakota side, some isolated severe hail. Does say 2 counties here in South Dakota. Do want to mention this. Let me see if I can read this off here. Okay, cities. So, Butte, Mullen, O'Neill, Spencer, Valentine, Nebraska, all in that severe thunderstorm watch on the Nebraska side. Now Wagner, Platte, Winter, Gregory, Martin, South Dakota, all in this severe thunderstorm watch. Now, again, this does not include the Sioux Falls area. Sioux Falls is not in this severe thunderstorm watch. It is west and southwest of Sioux Falls. However, Sioux Falls at this point still getting some rain. However, it looks like we're about done for now, which is great news. We don't need any more rain right now with the flooding concerns, with the flood watch that is in effect. I do want to bring that to your attention too. I need to bring that up here. That we do have a flood watch that is in effect as well. I need to look at this. It is, bring this to you guys' attention here. This is for southeastern South Dakota, parts of northwest or northern Iowa, and southern Minnesota. It does include the Sioux Falls area. And I do want to say here, let's flood warning, or there is a flood warning, but let's so let me bring this up here for you guys wondering in the Sioux Falls area what we are looking at here. As you can see, Sioux Falls is way northeast of this supercell, but do want to mention this for those in the Sioux Falls and surrounding areas. Let's see here. So flood warning, or flood watch in effect from 8 p.m. through Saturday morning now. Flash flooding continues to be possible. Portions of northwest Iowa, southwest Minnesota, southeast South Dakota. Does include Sioux Falls. Again, through Saturday morning, starting basically now, but officially at 8 p.m. tonight through Saturday morning. So what it says here, impacts excessive runoff may result in flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying and flood-prone locations. Creeks and streams may rise out of their banks. Area creeks and streams are running high and could flood with more heavy rain, but also flooded roads are also possible. Broad swath of 2 to 4 inches of rain Friday night expected, especially along and north of I-90, with the highest potential of 5 to 8 inches of rain between now and Saturday morning, which that is a lot of rain, guys. That is a lot of rain, and hopefully we don't get that much, but that is looking to be the case. Now, minor flooding is occurring. Beaver Creek and Canton from this afternoon until further notice. Also, flash flooding near Des Moines. Also, flood warning over Spencer, affecting Clay County. Moderate flooding in Spencer. So, as you can see, there's a lot of flood information near Little Sioux River, Milford, Spencer area. So we got some areas of flooding also in southwest Minnesota. So, moral of the story here, a lot of rain has fallen, and we're starting to see some of that flooding occurring. And so we can't ignore that part of this because there's a tornado warning. But we do have to continue to talk about that as well because it has been raining all day, and that has caused some flooding concerns. Well, the story here. So let's go back here in Nebraska and look at this. Get a good view here. Let's look at this tornadic thunderstorm here. That again is just south of Long Pine. Let me do a storm track here, and let me see if there's any communities here impacted by this. Let me go ahead and do that here. Really nothing. There's not much out here, which is great news. You know, there's not a lot of people out here. Basically, what's out here is grassland or farm land. So there could be some farmers out here that are impacted by this. So if that's the case, hopefully everybody's watching and watching however they can get it. Temps around this region near 70. So plenty warm to support a tornado. But it's not your classic, 85 to 90 degree weather causing the tornadoes. Temps aren't in the 70s or 80s or even 90s. They are in the 60s, but that is still enough to support a tornado. Now, let me see here. And let me look at the velocity again. Now, it looks like there for sure is one signature. There might even be two circulations now developing. Number one right in here. Now, it's kind of broad. It's not as well defined. But I think we might have two circulations now that we might need to start talking about here in Nebraska. Now, this doesn't mean that there's going to be twin tornadoes, but what it means is there's two broader rotation signatures that we just got to monitor. And yeah, there's a lot of energy in the atmosphere that has caused this tornadic thunderstorm. Now, again, where's this at? This is south of Ainsworth, Nebraska. And again, moving east at 20. So it's not moving very fast, and it's not in a very populated area, but it is still a talking point that we still need to talk about here with this. This is the only tornadic thunderstorm in the country. There was one also earlier today over in Michigan, but that has since faded away. We just have one tornado warning in the country, and that is in northern Nebraska here. And here on June 20th, we've had a lot of severe weather in Nebraska this year already. And unfortunately, we are just reaching the peak of severe weather season in this area, in this Nebraska, South Dakota area, where June is typically the most active month. So as we look here, again, this tornadic thunderstorm is still considered radar indicated, but treat it as if it's on the ground because there's a chance that it could be on the ground. So still be taking this very seriously. The CC not seeing a whole lot here, which is good news. So hopefully that continues, but we're not really seeing much there. Now, there might even be three circulations now based on what we're seeing. Number one could be right in here. Number two and number three. there might be very well be 3 circulations on this storm. It's a very nasty thunderstorm. And could be the case. There could be 3 signatures here where the but it looks like as of right now with that latest sweep, the middle one looks to be the strongest. Right in here. That looks to be the strongest by far. And again, where is this at? This is Brown and Rock counties in Nebraska. And again, this is moving straight east at about 20 miles per hour. So if you are anywhere south of Ainsworth and Long Pine, Nebraska, please be taking cover, seek shelter. Again, if there's any farmers out in this area, which is the only scenario at this point because there's no towns or cities impacted by this, not much out here. So any farmers out here or just anybody driving out here in this area, just please be seeking shelter, whatever shelter you can find. Lowest floor or interior room with no windows. And you can go the extra mile if you want to. You got helmets, mattresses, boots, shoes, those kinds of things. And again, we're just going to continue to watch this. We're going to continue to monitor the situation. And we're going to stick with you here. But this is a pretty strong circulation at this point. And again, we're looking south of Long Pine, Nebraska here. That is the area we are looking at here. And again, anytime you got that classic hook feature on the radar like that, anytime you have a signature like that on the radar, yeah, probably a good bet you're getting some large hail as well as a tornadic thunderstorm. So pretty well-defined hook there. And it actually just got stronger with the last. And basically right there is your inflow. And that is the area we are watching. So we're just going to continue to monitor it. Again, nothing confirmed yet that has come in. And we'll continue to give updates as we get them. Now let me see if there's any videos of this tornado. I know we got chasers on in the field that are looking at this here. Now, they are saying that there is likely a very large rain-wrapped and intense tornado on the ground, but we cannot confirm that because at this point there is nothing that has been officially confirmed by the National Weather Service. So we still got to say that it is radar indicated, but you still have to be taking this very seriously because it could drop a tornado at any point, at any time. Again, seek shelter immediately, away from windows, on the lowest floor possible. That is what we're looking at here at 5:50 p.m. here, Central Time. Again, radar indicated currently. However, it would not shock any of us if at this point it is a rain-wrapped tornado on the ground. Seeing if there's any updates. Again, severe thunderstorm watch continues for this area until midnight tonight. So that is another 6 hours on that. But the main event currently is right here. This is your main storm, main event with the tornado warning. again, we're just going to keep watching it. We're going to keep following this situation. We wanted to jump on here and give you guys the latest information. And so that is the latest there. Now again, we're gonna hang with you guys. We're not gonna jump off yet. We're gonna stick with you guys here. Bring you guys the latest. Now here's an update from the Sioux Falls area. Another line of rain is building west of Canton and will be moving through the area soon. Unfortunately, that will bring more rain to the area. This will bring up to an additional inch of rain possible. So that is a little update there. Still looking at this tornadic thunderstorm where we have the twisting of the winds here within this storm. Kind of have this right in here, and there might even be, yeah, right in there. And in fact, right there is actually where you can pinpoint that, and this might be on the ground. It could very well be on the ground at this point. That is a pretty strong signal. That's a pretty tight little couplet there. Again, the area we're looking at right there. Let me zoom in here on this. Right there. That is the area we are looking at here. And again, we're just going to continue to stick with this. This is in effect for another 20 minutes. And again, this is all by itself. It is a big, massive storm, big supercell that, again, is all by itself. Really nothing stopping this thing at all. That is the current picture there. Let's go ahead and run through some of these graphics here. Nothing on the CC currently. And looks like we got some interference here with the, yeah, it's gonna have to be our best. Yeah, looks like we got some, the radar beams looks to be messing with a few of these. Let's see here. Now, I do want to look at this hail size here. Let's see here. There's definitely some hail associated with this storm as well. There's your hail, where the hail is with those colors there. That is where you have your hail. Now, here is another one. Another update here. From T Police Department, road is closed in T. 272nd Street is closed between Heritage Parkway and Summit Avenue. Just want to mention that. That is in the T area. And yeah, thank you guys all for tuning in here this afternoon as we try to keep everyone updated on what's going on here. Again, a huge supercell that is moving kind of an east-northeast direction. Let's put a loop on this, as you can see. And this thing might be starting to take maybe a northeast turn, and that's also why we need to watch this. If it starts to pick up speed a little bit and maybe starts to track northeast, this could eventually start to impact areas to the north and east, maybe towards Butte, and eventually maybe Wagner, Platte areas maybe eventually, if that takes a turn, which it's possible. But as of right now, this is moving in an easterly direction here in northern Nebraska. Now again, this is just south and east of Ainsworth. And let's zoom back in here on this storm. There's your loop. And it does look like it is starting to weaken a little bit, which is good. We're not seeing as pronounced of a signature on radar, and as even the velocity not as strong as it was before. So hopefully in 15 minutes we can jump off here and conditions improve, and hopefully this thing starts to die out and kill itself off, because this has been causing some problems here this afternoon in northern Nebraska. Now again, south of Long Pine is the area we're looking at. Once again, tornado warning continues. Moving, it has slowed down now, I will say that. They updated the warning box. 2-inch hail also right over Long Pine, or just south of Long Pine. There in that purple and even black areas is where you got the very large hail associated with this storm. Now again, they have updated this. This was moving east at about 22-ish miles per hour. Then it was moving east at 20. Now it's moving east at 13 miles per hour according to the radar. So that is something there to keep close tabs on, as this is starting to slow up. And the bad news with that is usually when storms slow down in speed, it usually is not a good thing. It usually means that that is recycling and probably dropping down a tornado. So hopefully it does not. Hopefully this starts to weaken itself out. And this is the area we're going to be watching for the next 15 minutes now, is right in here. Again, just south of Long Pine, Nebraska. That is the area that we are going to keep watching. Now if we put a loop on this velocity, as you can see, it's not as intense as it even was 10 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago. It is kind of weakened out a little bit. But again, we're just going to continue to watch this. It's not moving very fast. Moving at about 15 miles per hour. And again, issued here for another 15 minutes. And now I will say this latest sweep here kind of paints a picture here just southeast of Long Pine, Nebraska. Basically right here is the area that we're looking at. Does have a pretty solid velocity couplet, unfortunately, still. This thing for the last couple of hours has been recycling itself. Yeah, we're starting to get a lot coming in of road closures, unfortunately. So what they're saying here, Lincoln County Highway Department reporting flooding on several roads throughout the county. Conditions are expected to get worse. Here's just a few for you. 276, 472nd, 285, 476th, 469th, and 278 west of Lenox. And that is just a few of the many roads that are impacted this evening by the flooding issues. And yeah, gravel roads, as expected, are going to probably be the worst out of all the roads. And again, roads are expected to not improve. They're only going to get worse, unfortunately, with more rain coming between tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. So that is something that we just got to keep watching here, and we'll keep an eye on. And again, that velocity signature, it's recycled again, and we're starting to see that yet again here. And we're just going to keep an eye on this. Now back to the western panhandle of Nebraska here, we do have this line of severe thunderstorms moving east at 25 to 30 miles per hour, 70 mile an hour winds, 1 inch hail. And again, these are not moving very fast either. But this whole area will be needed to we'll be monitoring this whole area in northern Nebraska and southern South Dakota here over the next several hours for this severe weather potential. And again, we do have this that continues. And tornado warning still in effect here. And yeah, again, this is just southeast of Long Pine, Nebraska here. So it is in a pretty rural area. But we're just going to keep watching it. Let's see here. Yeah, I do need to look at the CC now, and that is not a good sign. This thing looks okay. So this has recycled, and that is your debris. So this thing most likely is on the ground at this point. We do have that correlation coefficient there. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that. But that was a pretty clear cut. And as you can see on the radar too, there's what is called a donut hole on the radar picture there, where this is most likely rain wrapped if this is on the ground. So it's going to be hard to see, almost impossible to tell if it's on the ground or not. But that unfortunately looks to be the case. And we're just going to continue to monitor this. Now let's look once again here at the velocity. We've still got that turning of the winds going on, but it's not as strong as it was before. But that's kind of what we're looking at there. And hopefully this thing kind of dies out and we can not worry about this anymore. But we got to get through 6:15 and see if this thing dies out or not. But again, this tornado warning does continue until 6:15. And this is not too far from the South Dakota border. South Dakota border is kind of right here. The South Dakota-Nebraska border, kind of right in there. So this is not too far away from South Dakota. So this is fairly close. And if this continues to move east, this would eventually impact the O'Neill, Nebraska area. If this thing holds together, but still a while to go there, as it's not moving very fast. So O'Neill, Nebraska, still in the clear for now. But if you're in O'Neill, I would just be watching the weather this evening. Now let's go back to the reflectivity there. Again, still we have that big supercell, Ainsworth, Bassett, Newport. Now what I could say is this could maybe start, it is flat land, but this could cause some flooding issues, especially if this thing really becomes stationary. It's gonna start to cause some flooding issues, I think. If this thing just stays where it's at, that could cause some flooding issues. Now, I'd like to thank our sponsors here for this live stream. I do want to mention that. Thank you to our sponsors for this. And an even bigger thanks to those of you who have tuned in and are watching our live here this evening. Again, big thanks to you guys for everything that the viewers do and everything that people do to support this group. And again, huge thanks to allow us to be doing this. So again, tornado warning continues here for another 5 minutes. We'll hang tight and see what happens. Looking through a couple of tools that we use here exclusively for T-Storm Chasers, and we're not seeing a whole lot there, and the velocity is not as pronounced as it was a little bit earlier. So hopefully at 6:15 we drop this warning and we can jump off here. So that is the goal here, to get through these next few minutes with anybody that is in this area. Again, anybody south of Long Pine, Nebraska. That is the area we're looking at here in Brown and Rock counties in Nebraska. I know it gets a little confusing because we have Brown County in South Dakota and we have Rock County, Minnesota. And I believe there's a Rock County, Iowa. So, but this is in Nebraska. All of the severe weather currently is down in Nebraska, still in our coverage area with the Quad State region. And man, there's some big hail going on in this storm. Anytime you get those black colors on radar to show up, that is where we have some big time hail going on here. And we also do have a inflow notch right there. So that's kind of what we're looking at currently. Let me look at this. And this is kind of that's what we're looking at here. So, you got the hail core in the middle with the purple and black colors, and then you got your inflow notch where we got the tornadic portion of this on the southern end, and then we have the tornado warning box. Also, a lot of lightning in this storm as well, to be expected. But yes, we do have a lot of lightning. I was trying to get that loaded up on here. Let me see if I can maybe try to show that lightning. Looks like it's not going to work. But that is what we're looking at here. We'll see what happens. We'll see if this thing dies out or not. But as of right now, it appears to be dying out. But we'll see. We'll see what they do here in a few minutes. We'll see if they reissue this or not. Now, based on this, they might reissue this based on what we're seeing here on the velocity. It is showing some pretty good rotation still within this, but it is kind of broad and not as strong as it was before. It's just not, and we'll just continue to watch this and see what happens. But again, we're kind of seeing some nasty rotation going on again. You know, anytime you got the bright reds, bright greens, that is kind of what we're looking at. And this thing is still going strong as of now. We'll see what they decide to do with this. Again, the inflow notch right in there, and the hail going on the back side of this right in here, where we have that hail. And we're just going to continue to watch this here. And yeah, we'll just see what they decide to do here with this. Again, we still got the rotation signature there. 32 knots, 103 knots of max data velocity. So it's not super strong. It is not as strong as it was before. So hopefully that's a good sign that this gets dropped. But again, if those of you just joining us, this is T-Storm Chasers continuing coverage of tornadic weather in Nebraska. Where we do have a tornado warning that continues here for the next couple of minutes. We'll see what they decide to do with this warning. My guess is they're going to allow this to expire and maybe reissue one. And again, we do have the flooding issues. And it does look like they have allowed this to expire. It is 6:15. It does look like they have allowed this to expire. But again, let's run through this one more time. We did have the tornado warning that was west of O'Neill. That has been allowed to expire now at 6:15. But still be prepared for some very large hail associated with that. And we do have a line of severe thunderstorms moving through the western panhandle of Nebraska, moving east at 30 with some 70-mile-an-hour winds and some smaller hail. And then we do have the severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect here until midnight tonight. The area shaded in pink is where we do have the severe thunderstorm watch as in effect. And then we also have flood warnings and flood watches across southeastern South Dakota, northwest Iowa, and southwest Minnesota. And again, that is a developing story that we are going to continue to monitor very closely and continue to give you guys updates on all of our social media accounts here as we get them. But as of now, they have dropped that tornado warning that was in Nebraska. And as of now, no tornado warnings. Repeat, no tornado warnings. Again, these are not heading towards Sioux Falls. And they're not moving very fast. They're not fast movers. So that is the latest here from T-Storm Chasers. We'll be back on as needed. We'll continue to give you guys updates as we get them. But that is the latest here from T-Storm Chasers. Again, continue to stay tuned, stay weather aware, and don't be scared. Be prepared. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for tuning in.